City talk. Let's get it started. City talk. Let's get it started. City talk. City talk. With my man, Ron Carter. And my man, roll. City talk. Let's get it started. City talk. Let's get it started. With my man, Ron Carter. And my man, City talk. Let's get it started. City talk. Let's get it started.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of City Talk. I'm your host, Gerard Carter. This is my host,
Big Four.
We got a lot of things to get into once again, but before we get into it, make sure you download the CoyoteMan TV show network app on your Amazon Fire and Roku, and you can find it where you can find your mobile apps. Now, this evening we have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Winston C. Parks Bay. He's a community emergency response team instructor. How you doing this evening, Mr. Bay?
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Grateful. I just want to thank the Coyote Man Show for allowing me to be here and to be with Brother Voy and Gerard. So, getting things done out in the community and put the word out.
All right, so let's get right into it. What is the community emergency response team?
Okay, the history is called CERT. CERT is Community Emergency Response Team. The history of CERT went back to the 1985 California earthquakes and earthquakes in Mexico and California. And so what happened was during the aftermath of the earthquake, first responders could not really get there on time. So civilians were allowed to do search and rescue operations. However, more civilians died because they were not trained, And so what happened was around 1995, there was an organization, Citizen Corp, along with other conglomerate organizations, formed what they call CERT. And CERT is civilians, everyday Joe Schmo, Pookie Ray Ray and all of them, learning first responder training. Okay. So it's for civilians in your community that you learn these basic principles of training that a first responder would, but it would be at like a assistant responder.
Okay.
And so as it continued, there is a CERT in every state of the union. Whatever state you belong in, just type whatever state and capital letters CERT. And so I was in CERT. I was introduced by my sister, as a matter of fact, in 2011. And when I came in and I did the training, you would get the backpacks and the little helmet and everything, just make you feel important, right? And so I saw my purpose. Because you couldn't criticize and say, well, it's a Christian thing, it's a Muslim thing. You keep, a disaster has no...
It's not faith-based.
Yeah, faith-based, no color. Mm-hmm. So as I got involved with CERT, I realized that our community needed something like this. So that's why, I'm here on the show now, and I'm grateful. I want to give honor to all those who paved the way for me to be here, right. But again, the history of it was due to civilians not being trained, more civilians dying from the lack of training. Now here is a program, and it's sponsored by FEMA. Okay. Many bad people say FEMA in the concentration camps. This is something that would be beneficial for the community.
Okay. So I understand that you said that this program up until 2017, 2018 was in Baltimore.
Brother Gerard, unfortunately, we were doing training at the public safety building right there, Park Heights and Northern Parkway. And they think it's
Which
the
used to be Old Pimlico, right?
Yeah, Old Pimlico, right?
Right.
And so we were doing training. The training is actually a 3-day training. It is technically a 18 to 20 hour training. And so after 2017, around 2015, we noticed that there was a lack of participation, those in the urban communities. There were other communities that were participating because apparently they knew the time and what must be done.
Right.
Apparently they were in tune while we were out of tune. And so that's when I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get the training to be an instructor. So I went up to Emmitsburg to a place called Emergency Management Institute, 3-day training. I'm an instructor. Now on my own, I'm offering workshops, to communities or, organizations that we can do this because our lack of participation, in the Black community or the so-called Negro community has caused a lot of setbacks. We behind the 8 ball, point blank.
Right, I agree. At the end of the day, cause I remember even with Katrina, when all that went down, when you need help, I mean, there ain't no need to sit back and wait on somebody.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? When you could do it for yourself.
Yes,
I tell her, if you're ready already, you ain't got to get ready.
Yep.
So if you got a generator, or you got a flashlight, batteries in the home, and then the thing is, not just you. You make sure the children get ready too.
Yes.
Everybody we all in this as a unit. So it's like, hey, everybody got a job. Go get the battery, go get the flashlight, go get the candles, whatever, however it goes. So, and that's the interesting thing too, because even when that went down, a lot of people in that whole community, and I have family down there, that was that was something else because
it was a disaster.
It was a disaster. So,
So speaking of that, what you do is considered disaster awareness.
Well, yeah, what I do is the full CERT training is 3 days. What I'm doing is I'm condensing it into workshops.
Okay.
Where I can go into a church, mosque, temple, community center, 20, 15, 25 people, and just do a quick micro lesson from 3 days into 2-3 hours, but also with team building and putting people together as team, having scenarios. Because when you do a workshop, you want to involve the people. Because one of the things I realized is that people love to be involved.
Hold tight. We got to pay some bills. I ain't want to stop him. I wanted him to keep on.
But we gonna get right back
pay
to
some
it.
bills. We be right back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
City Talk. Let's get it started. City Talk. Let's get it started.
We must secure our families. KFG Life Insurance Specialist is a company that partnered with 15 of the top life insurance companies to ensure you get the best pricing, knowledge, and products to suit your family needs. Some people believe that term insurance is better than whole life insurance, while others feel the complete opposite. Some may feel like universal life is the way to go, and others may feel it's better to have a whole life policy. The truth is, neither of the products are better. One just may be more suitable for your family. Our life insurance specialists are not biased, as they are partnered with several life insurance companies. This ensures our clients get the best pricing, education, and products that are suitable for their families. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist make these decisions easier for you and your family. Our office is located at Security Square Mall, next to Burlington, in the CoyoteMan Show Network. Please call to make an appointment at 443-400-5224 or go to www.lifeinsurancepecialist.org. That's www.lifeinsurancepecialist.org. Let KFG Life Insurance Specialist help you prepare your family in the present, because the future is not promised. Act now.
Start. City Talk. Let's get it started. City Talk. Let's get it started. City Talk. City Talk. With my man, Rod Carter. And my man, roll. City Talk. Let's get it started. City Talk. Let's get it started. With my man, Rod City Talk. Let's get it started. City Talk. Let's get it started.
City Talk, we're back. And before we get into everything, make sure you download the CoyoteMan TV show network app on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and you can find it where you find your mobile apps. So, Mr. Winston.
Yes, sir.
You said one of the main things was the lack of participation in Baltimore City, the reason why the program stopped?
Well, Baltimore City still has the CERT program.
Oh, okay.
However, because of lack of participation in the black community, and I don't want to say it like that, in the black community, because I don't want the audience to feel targeted, but I'm giving you my reality. You know, because there was a lack of participation, it seemed like no participation. Why are we going to continue the funding? Why are we going to continue the program? And lots of times in Baltimore City, because we may be in some trauma.
So how much is this program?
Brother, I'm glad you asked that question. Okay. Free.
You heard what the man said.
Okay. So I've been on WOLB for 2 years.
Okay.
And I want to give honor to my mentor, Arthur Burrell L. And we were on WOLB program called the Mentoring Clinic. Every time we aired, I will put my email out there. I will come to you. I have my own equipment, own screen, the whole 9 yards. All I need is a location, and bodies. I have my own handouts because this is my assignment from here. You understand? So why I'm doing it for free is because each one teaches one. Right. If I do several workshops, those individuals that get it will end up training those. You know what I mean?
Each one teach one.
Each one teach one. So if I train, if 5 people get it out of 20, those 5 can get to 10 and the 10 to 20. So that's one of the reasons why, is because there are a lot of things that we charge. But right now, we are under not only psychic attacks, there is a global change going on, right. And in one of the teachings, it says what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. So we being bombarded with rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes, and that is because we live on a planet that's an organism. And what I found is that in a lot of urban communities, we're so consumed with stress and fear and a lack of trust that coming with something for free, it can't be true.
Right.
Boy, that boy lying.
Hey, but Brother Winston, I want to also ask, just like, for example, just start off with some of the things that might start off with the CERT. Like what would be some of the things, like if you just come in and just like a quick synopsis of some of the things that you might say, like water, what is it? Maybe like is firearms involved in this? Is a samurai sword involved in this? I mean, put me D.
You the samurai sword. Okay. Now, if I would begin a CERT workshop, the first thing I do is icebreaker. Okay. That's the first thing I always do, is I always want to get the people comfortable. The first thing is, what is a disaster? And lots of times we think of a disaster as tornado, hurricane, a tsunami, but something as simple as a mother's child is crying. She don't know what's going on with the baby. It could be constipation, it could be something. At that moment, that's a disaster.
You don't know what's going on.
Exactly. The issues that's going on in Baltimore City and various other cities, the mental health issues, okay, is a disaster. A lot of these shootings that's going on, this is a disaster. They call it crisis, okay? Well, a crisis and a disaster is different. See, when you're in a disaster, that means you've been traumatized. And so trauma leads to someone shutting down. So our people being so traumatized, to describe a disaster, you got to have it in a setting where they can feel comfortable. So from what is a disaster is going into the things that you need if something would happen. And you have 72 hours. What would you do? You know what I mean? And just, giving a list of supplies that you may need in what they call a go bag, a 72-hour bag. You may need some granola bars and those power bars, because you may not be able to make no chicken. You ain't making no damn chicken. When you on a run, yo.
And not to mention, too, you also got to stay in good shape, too.
Exactly.
Because you don't even know. Say, for example, if you had to walk from here to New York to Refuge, could everybody do that?
Yes.
Could you hold a baby on your hip all the way to New York? So being a help, or if you had to help your elders to cross a creek or something like that.
Yes, sir.
So I really stress that a lot, because a lot of times, people just like when you come home and go, for work and every day, you feel safe, you feel comfortable. But when something really happens, because we right next to DC, so I mean, at any given time, whatever smoke they go get, we go get.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, I feel like, you do got to have these things in order, because right now, if they shut them lights going out, the world going to hell in a handbasket.
even with water, one of the things I do, when I begin a training or a workshop, even with water, it takes 1 gallon of water for every adult per day. Now, if you go into the streets of Baltimore, I'm not picking on y'all, okay? You can see the dehydration.
Oh, no doubt.
In our young people, you can see the dehydration.
Skin dry.
You know what I mean? So the dehydration alone, if a disaster happened, you know what I mean? You won't even have enough water content in you. And when you bleach, when you purify water, for every gallon, it's for dirty water. For dirty water, for a gallon of dirty water, it's 16 drops of bleach for a gallon.
Okay. For
clean water, it's 8 drops of bleach. You know what I mean? Drops, y'all, drops.
Right.
Okay, don't be trying to do the measurement thing. Get the little squeezy thing and drops. But again, part of the disaster preparedness is to awaken our people, because somehow, some way, I don't know if it's a sorcery. I don't know what it is. If it's an illusion, we under hypnosis. But there is no major concern in the faith traditions. There's no major concern. We are praying to a mystery God, but yet at the same time on earth, there's something going on, and I'm not gonna wait for a mystery God to bring me food. No. I want to be prepared. So
canned goods, things of that nature, perishable.
Canned goods,
and not only that too,
and a can opener,
and learn how to make a fire too. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't just talking about with the lighter that you blaze up with. I'm talking about get the little spark and you know what I mean. So because at the end of the day, you're gonna need that to boil some water.
Well, they have things called starter fire.
They do, and you go to
it's like pellets.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They like them little grains of pellets.
Yes. And
they also got them at what is that? Harbor Freight.
Yes.
They got the thing you can scrape. All you need to do is get something dry, and you can scrape the little thing, and it'll start a fire for you.
And brother,
and a bottle system too. And a bottle, you need.
Yo, why you cut me off, man? For real, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping the knowledge like this, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just excited to jump in there.
Okay. So, but I love this. I love this. You know why? Because we're men. And we're talking about something so important, even though it seems humorous, this is the CoyoteMan show. You know what I'm saying?
It's city talk.
So I mean, this is Coyote Man city talk. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. But at the same time, like I said, what we're forgetting, man, is everybody else they are aware of what to do, what's happening, except for the so-called Negro. I mean, there's been so much stuff happening in Baltimore, so many things happening, even the fires. Right. You know, how one of the trainings is fire safety, fire suppression, how to use a fire extinguisher, right. How to move objects in your own home, right. How to make sure that you have things that are not combustible. Right. You know, putting all them cords on that one poor little socket. The poor little socket like the little engine that could. You know, so like I said, these are the things that we need to remind our people, but we're so busy being stressed out with everyday life that disaster training, you know, I'm just trying to get my next 40 ounce. Right. You know, and so when someone comes, you know, when the light shining from the east onto the west, the light, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehends it not. You know, so even on television, I don't know if y'all remember, maybe 2-3 years ago, they were having commercials about what would happen during the disaster. They was putting on television commercials. Right. On television, and what does this those wonderful entities do? They will send messages. If you don't get it, you don't get it. And so that's why, you know, coming on the citywide show, I want to introduce and offer my assistance, you know, to those that in whatever communities, as far as whatever faith-based communities, and you know, I can come to you. I'm confident in myself. You know, I know who I am, and so I know my mission.
Real quick, if someone's watching that wants to reach out to you, where would they go? You have social media?
Well,
email?
Because I can say for myself, one of my mantras is mind your business. That's what I do today. Some things I can put on social media, but something like this, you can email me at winstonbey at hotmail.com. WINSTONBEY@hotmail.com. Why I'm saying this is because lots of times, and having been on WOLB and put my email out there, right. Sometimes we like to be stimulated, you know, razz and dazz. But when the action comes, you know, a lot of our brothers and sisters fall short. Yeah, so if you email me, then I know that you want to get down on the get down. Get down on the get down. Right. Because times are wasting. You see what's happening in Ukraine. What happens? What would happen? We've been going through Ukraine, but what would happen if that actual, what you see on footage, go down right now here? Who's going to survive?
Yeah, people think about that. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Mr. Winston Bey brought up some real important points about disaster preparedness and awareness. You know, think about it. He put his email out there. You might want to give him a shout that, you know, like we said, the program is free.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And my brother even said, he even come to you. He'll come to you. Right. He'll come to your church, your mosque.
Now, I could be like in the street and say, you know, I'll give you the first sample, and then the rest you got to pay for. You know, I can go that way. However, this is my passion.
Right.
And I know the need, you know, because my leader, teacher, and guide, you know what I mean, gave me the light from when I was 10. You know, I was told, accept your own and be yourself. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's so important that we get this. I went to a Narcan training. Narcan down at Fells Point. Narcan. I was the only melanated male in the place, besides the camera guy who was a Eurasian or Caucasian, are the only male.
Well, look, Mr. Parks Bay, you did say you would be interested in coming back. We run to the end of the show. There's a lot of powerful information.
Yes, sir. I can come back and whenever we can go ahead and set up the schedule. I want to give both y'all my business cards, man. On camera and everything, and make it official. You know what I'm saying? But also, again, I do work with a team of people that help people get their handgun qualification. So that could be in the next segment.
Okay.
There we go.
And Winston Bay at hotmail.com. And I want to thank Citywide, Brother Gerard, Brother Vaughn. And I want to thank the Coyote Man Show as well. And I want to thank you for those who are tuning in, because again, this is the time, this is the place, and if you miss this and what's going on globally, if you can't see the truth, you don't need to be on the planet.
Shoot Mr. Parks that email. This is City Talk. We will see y'all next week, 7 for another 30.
City Talk. Let's get it started. City Talk. Let's get it started. On the Coyote Man Show.